Happy day students. This is part 2 video of chapter 1 from social and political life. Name of the chapter is on equality. So last part in the video part 1 we stopped with understanding what is democracy, what is Indian democracy, what are the key components or key elements of a democratic country, and we stopped with understanding what is the most common form of inequality. So most common form of inequality is caste system. So here in this video we're going to see about two real life incidents, examples of inequality. So to start off with, we have the first case, Om Prakash Valmiki. So he is a Dalit by birth. He is a very famous writer. His creation is Jyotan, which explains about his own life experiences as an Dalit boy. So what are the uh, experiences that he had experienced as a Dalit boy? Few glimpses from his book. Here it goes. He had to sit away from the others in the class on the floor while the others sat on benches little away from him. Others had the privilege to sit on the mat. Sometimes he should sit away from everybody, behind everyone, almost near the door. Sometimes they would beat him up for no reason. Once in class 4, the headmaster had asked Om Prakash Valmiki to sweep the school and the playground. He has explained with painful words in his book that his physical and psychical pain as the playground was way too larger than my small physique could handle it. My back started to ache. My mouth was covered in dust. The other children in my class were studying and I was sweeping. All of this continued like a normal routine until his father noticed him doing this sweeping. He confronted the teachers and later, holding his son's hand, told in loud and firm voice, "You are a teacher, so I'm leaving now. But remember this much. He will study right here in this school, and not just him, there will be many more coming after him." Next example, we have the experience of Mr. and Mrs. Ansari. Based on the real incident that took place in one of India's largest cities, Mr. and Mrs. Ansari were looking for an apartment in the city. They had the money to give away as rent. It was not a problem. They contacted a property dealer to find them a decent house in a decent place. The property dealer knew some places for rent and took the Ansaris wherever he could for a visit. The very first place the Ansaris felt okay and were ready to take it up. The landlady, when she found out their names, she reluctantly rejected renting the apartment to Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, saying the apartments cannot be rented to non-vegetarian people. The same thing repeated all of the places wherever the property dealer took Mr. and Mrs. Ansari to visit the place for. Finally, the property dealer gave a suggestion to Mr. and Mrs. Ansari to change their names. Here, the Ansaris were not ready for that. Hence, they continued their search, and after a full month's search, they were able to get an apartment for rent. So what happened here is the denial of dignity. What is dignity? Yes, you are right. Self-respect. Now children, can you all identify the denial of dignity, both the real incidents that we discussed? Yes, Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari, one or the other condition, they both had experienced inequality in different forms. Can you tell me in what way Om Prakash Valmiki experienced inequality? Yes, violation of dignity happened in school for Om Prakash Valmiki, that is caste based inequality, where he was asked to sweep the whole ground while the other students of his age were remained in the class and were allowed to take up studies. Now tell me, what in case of Mr. Ansari, were you able to understand that they were denied of self-respect? Can you think? Yes, you are right. No apartment was rented for them. So that is religion-based inequality that was experienced by Mr. and Mrs. Ansari. So what is common between the experiences of Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari? Can you find the answer for this question? Yes, you are right. It is the violation of dignity. Both Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari were denied of their dignity. This is where the inequality exists in different forms. They, as a citizen of India, as India is a democratic country, they deserve the dignity and respect as anyone else. Equality in Indian democracy. So, how equality in Indian democracy exists? It exists with the help of the Indian Constitution. Yes, the Indian Constitution was written and erected by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and this Indian Constitution includes 448 articles. Yes, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, you know what is he called as? Any idea? All right, let me tell you. He is called the father of Indian Constitution. Yes. Now, what does this Indian Constitution say? That's very important. You should know it. What does it say? It is the supreme law of India. The document lays down the framework demarcating fundamental code, structure, power, and duties of the government. Okay? So, what does the constituting assembly consist of? It consists of totally 284 members. This Constitution of India says or recognizes every person as equal. This simply clearly means that every individual in the country, including male, female, from any caste, any religion, be a tribe, education, and economic backgrounds, should be recognized equal, and all of the credit goes to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for creating the or designing the Indian Constitution. Implementing the equality by government. So how does government, our Indian government, play an efficient role in emphasizing the importance of practicing equality among the public? Earlier, there were no laws to protect people from discrimination and ill treatment. But now, there are several laws that work to see that all people are treated equally. Apart from the laws, there are certain government programs or schemes put up by the government to help the disadvantaged communities. So it is done through laws, through programs or schemes initiated by the government. So one such scheme that was introduced by the government, which is running successfully till date, is the midday meal scheme. Midday Meal Scheme. Government elementary schools introduced to provide children with cooked lunch along with schooling. Tamil Nadu was the first to execute it, and this was initiated in the year 1962 to 1963 by the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. K. Kamaraj. What are the positive effects of this program, midday meal scheme? More poor children started enrolling and regular attendance was maintained in the school. Earlier, children returned home after lunch, but now they stay back even after lunch. So their interest in learning has picked up to greater heights, which improved the attendance of the students as well. It also helped reduce caste prejudices. And moreover, very important noticeable point here is Dalit women employed as cooks here. Apart from all the said action laws, schemes being adapted, the government, there are still many more children like Om Prakash Valmiki from Dalit background being discriminated and treated unequally. They forced into unequal situations where their dignity and self-respect falls as a big question. All this is because the people refuse to think of them as equal even though the law requires or reinforces. So, what is your role here as a future citizen? You're the upcoming generation, right, students? So, have this equality, the key components of democratic country, the sense of treating everyone equal, always in your minds and thoughts. I hope you like this video. We shall continue with the other parts, components of the democratic country in the next part. Thank you. Have a nice day.